Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Happy Mind, Happy Life podcast, where we explore tools, practices, and mindset shifts to help you live with more clarity, peace, and joy. I am your host, Michelle Werdeman, and I am so grateful that you're here. What's happening, my friends? Hope whenever or wherever you're listening to this, you are doing fabulous. So I had a funny conversation with somebody over the weekend. I was telling them about how I'm doing a fall cleanse. And someone asked if it was one of those green juice cleanses for, 5 days or 3 days where you can't drink coffee, you can't do all the things. And I was like, no. I know there's a million different cleanses out there on social media to probably last us a lifetime. But this particular type of cleanse is an emotional cleanse. The kind where you clear out all of the mental and energetic clutter that's just been piling up. And I love this time of year to do this because nature is basically doing the same thing. Like, seriously, though, like if you look outside, fall is such a beautiful reminder that letting go is so natural. The trees don't cling to their leaves or say, wait, I worked so hard to grow these. They simply release them gracefully and without fear of what comes next. It's almost as if nature is whispering like, see, you can trust the process too. Because we humans, we don't like change. A lot of times we fight change. We hold on to what feels familiar, even when it no longer feels good. I remember learning this concept a long time ago about kind of your home base. Like, what is your emotion that you have a tendency to hold on to and come back to, even when it's not comfortable, but it feels normal. So whether that's fear or anxiety, and as uncomfortable as those feelings are, they're kind of like a home base for some people. So even though it doesn't feel good, it's familiar. So every season, I feel like reminds us that release isn't a loss. When we learn to release things, I like to think of it more as part of a renewal. And sometimes we don't even notice the things we're carrying around until life slows down. And suddenly, that emotional backpack feels really heavy. I've talked quite a bit on the podcast this summer about I took a step back from my tranquility center because I would say over the course of about maybe a year and a half, I started carrying around a lot of heavy energy around the center because of the amount of people that were like, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. And then I wasn't aligning with the beauty that I wanted to bring to the space, the energy that I wanted to bring to this space. So I made the decision at the beginning of the summer that I was going to take, I think I wound up taking like maybe 5 or 6 weeks away from the center to really step back. And when I stepped back and I realized the heaviness of some of the emotions that I was carrying around, I was like, oh, wow. Like, I want to start to let these go so that new things could flourish and become more inspired to create and think about all the beautiful things I wanted to have happen at the center. And when I tell you, the center is now thriving, just taking that time away. And it doesn't have to be time off of work, but just a step back to an area of your life that might just not feel aligned with where you're at right now. Maybe it's old stories you're telling yourself, guilt from things that have happened in the past, worry about things that haven't happened yet, people pleasing, comparing your life to someone else's. Whatever it is, this season is an invitation to just set it down. And I feel like if you think, just fall's kind of like a whisper to us, like you don't have to carry this around anymore. One of my favorite things about this time of year, besides football, I love watching my son play football, is that you don't have to rush things. Things take time. The air cools, the pace softens, and suddenly everything smells like cinnamon and pumpkin and just possibility. You know how each season kind of has their own little special thing about it? That's how I view fall. Like, the special thing about fall is releasing and renewing and just slowing down. And that doesn't mean, like, my schedule definitely doesn't slow down when there's football 6 days a week. My daughter has dance 4 days a week and work. I don't mean it like that. But it's just taking some time and just renewing and just really trying to recharge and reflection. Like, reflection, I love, whether it's through journaling or walking and just being in that present moment and noticing, are there things, are there patterns, are there habits, are there stories, are there emotions that you're holding on to that you're ready to just release, to bring in something beautiful down the road in your next life season. And it's in this in-between moment, where it's not quite summer, it's not quite winter. And it just reminds us that transformation doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be gentle. It can even be joyful. This is that in-between time. And maybe we can bring that same energy inward. Slow down a little, soften a little, laugh a little bit more, have fun. Oh gosh, I went to my 25th college reunion this past weekend. And when I tell you, I haven't had that much fun in so long. And I have fun a lot, but we had such a great time. And I almost at first wasn't going to go because there was a lot of moving parts happening between football, my daughter's work, and my husband had some things going on. But I sat back and I'm like, you know what? These will all figure themselves out. I'll make a couple phone calls, and holy moly, am I glad I did that. But it would have been very easy for me not to have gone because I really did have a lot of external things happening. But it was just such a beautiful time. We were outside the whole time, saw people that I haven't seen in, years and years and years. But yeah, it was just having fun. I watched a Mel Robbins podcast recently, and the idea was around people not having as much fun as they used to have. The world feels really heavy right now for a lot of people. I've talked to some people about, I don't watch the news. It's just one thing I don't do. I know enough what's happening in the world. I'm not ignorant. It's not that I don't care, but I don't want to get wrapped up in all of the bad stuff that's happening, because in reality, there's so much good stuff happening and you just don't see enough of it. So I choose to spend my mornings when I get ready. I listen to podcasts, inspirational things and things where I can learn. So anyway, we were talking about the news and how somebody was saying that they felt guilty for still having fun while certain things were going on. And I get it. But I think that's common these days. People are afraid to admit that they're having fun sometimes, or when other things aren't working out well for people and just the world in general. And life is supposed to be fun. It doesn't have to always be heartbreak, in sorrow, in fear, in anxiety, in stress, in overwhelm. Yes, those are all going to happen. That's just a part of life. But how much fun are you having? And are you having enough of it? And one little thing I was talking about, because someone's like, well, I don't really have time to do, whatever. I'm like, you don't need a lot of time to have fun. If you're doing the dishes, putting away dishes or cleaning them, whatever, cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the house, put on some fun music and make that fun and laugh. Listen to something funny. I feel like we don't have as much fun as we used to. Although I shouldn't say that. I do. Because I do make it a priority. But anyway, I just think that this time of year is such a perfect time to maybe not be our most productive. Maybe just work on letting go of some things. So my personal emotional cleanse, the good kind, not eating kale and taking supplements and just drinking green things for 3 days. Not that that's bad. I'm just joking. But for me, my kind of cleanse is taking more walks, listening to, I do audiobooks or podcasts. I do walking meditations and just really looking at everything while I walk. Like with every step, just taking in everything that's around me. And I do it intentionally because I could be walking and I could be thinking about something stupid I might have said a couple days ago or worrying about my to-do list. So I intentionally look at the leaves. I look at the trees. I look at, well, sadly, a bunch of nips that are on the side of the road sometimes. But you get it. Like, I'm just in that moment. Another way that I do this emotional cleanse is I write stuff down. I write emotions or thoughts that have been weighing on me and then release it. So it could be tearing the page up. We did an event at my center once where everybody kind of just wrote down all the crap that was in their head that was weighing them down and stressing them out. And very safely, we burned them. Like, we burned those pieces of paper. And we just did this little quiet meditation about being done carrying them. So that could be something you do. You could write down some things, tear it up, flush it down the toilet, throw it away, and just acknowledge that you're ready to let that go. You're ready to stop carrying that load. And then if you're a pumpkin lover, maybe pour yourself a nice warm pumpkin latte or tea or something and just enjoy it. I love doing my, I do a nice chai latte that I have that's tea and just sitting with it, not doing anything else, but just sitting and letting go of whatever baggage you might be carrying around that isn't serving you anymore. And baggage seems kind of heavy. It doesn't even have to be, a lot of stuff. It could just be one particular thought that you've been carrying around or story, like I mentioned in my last podcast, that you're kind of just tired of. And then just let it go. It can be so freeing and fun to do that. When we let go, we don't lose ourselves. We don't lose any of our identity. It opens us up to find ourselves again. Just like the trees, we can trust that what's meant for us will grow back even stronger. So this fall, instead of resisting any change, maybe we can celebrate it. Put on a cozy sweater, step into the crisp air, and remind yourself you don't have to hold on so tightly. Because when the leaves let go, they don't fall far, but they fall naturally. And I'm looking out at my front lawn right now, and there's quite a bit of leaves. And my husband did such a great job 2 days ago, and well, they're back. But it's beautiful. And maybe that's exactly what we've been invited to do by nature, is just to fall into freedom. So this week, try your own little fall cleanse, the kind that doesn't involve taking supplements and only drinking juice. Clean out a drawer, maybe. Forgive an old wound. Forgiving feels very cleansing. Maybe there's someone or something that, really bothered you or really upset you or you're offended by, and just maybe you can forgive it. Or finally say no to something that you've been doing and saying yes to that drains you because you feel bad saying no. Let that go. And just notice how much lighter you feel. Like I said, even cleaning out a drawer, like that can be like, oh, I've been wanting to do that for a really long time. This draw's been a mess. And just that simple task it can have such an impact on just breathing a little bit lighter and feeling like that sense of ease. And letting go isn't just about a release. It's also about making space for what's next. Right? Think about that. When you release something, when you let go of something, you're creating more space for whatever it is that's next. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. If this episode made you smile or reflect or just breathe a little bit deeper, I'd love for you to share it with a friend or someone who, a family member or a coworker that you might think that this would resonate with. And until next time, stay grounded, stay grateful, and remember, a happy mind really does create a happy life. Cheers, friends.